Today I'm making a quick lemon tiramisu. So I've got a number of ingredients. I've got my little ladyfingers here. I've got granulated sugar, egg yolk, egg white, some lemon zest, and some mascarpone cheese. I've also got some simple syrup, some homemade vanilla extract, and some Italian limoncello. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my simple syrup here, and I'm going to add some limoncello to it. And this is gonna be what I dip my ladyfingers in. Okay, so I will just give that a good mix. If you want it stronger, you could add more limoncello and a little less of the simple syrup. Okay, so that is all ready to go. And the next thing that I'm gonna do is I am going to take my egg yolk here, and I'm gonna go ahead and add it right to this bowl. And I've got a little bit of sugar that I am also going to add in here. I'm gonna grab my hand mixer and I'm just gonna mix this together until it's soft and creamy. And I'm just gonna use a hand mixer for that. I'm gonna make a little bit of room here, and you want to do this right away so that you don't burn your egg yolk. I am also gonna add my mascarpone to this. This is a mascarpone cheese, and it's not as sweet as a cream cheese. It's just much more milder in my opinion. I'm gonna add my lemon zest in there too. Get all of that goodness in. And I'm gonna do a tablespoon of my homemade homemade vanilla extract. As you can see, it's got some real vanilla beans in there. So I'm gonna do a tablespoon of that. See all those wonderful flecks of the vanilla bean. Make sure you get all that goodness in there. Clean hands are the best tools in our kitchen. And I'm gonna go ahead and mix that together so it's nice and fluffy. So next I'm going to take my egg whites, and I'm going to take my sugar, and I'm going to whip them together until the egg whites are stiff. So it's starting to take on some shape, but we need to keep going. With a hand mixer, it will take a little bit. It is much quicker in a KitchenAid. So we're just gonna keep going. Okay, that is looking good. So I can dump it upside down and nothing falls out. I have nice stiff peaks. So I'm gonna bring back over, I'm gonna wash my hands off here real quick. I'm gonna bring back over my mix. Okay, so this is nice and stiff. So these are perfect. I am going to fold this into my egg and mascarpone mixture. And I'm just gonna go slow so that I don't deflate these eggs. I don't wanna deflate my egg whites. So I'm just gonna add a little bit at a time, and I will just fold them in. Make sure you get all that goodness. Now you can also double this recipe, so if you wanted to make a really large tiramisu, you can do that as well. Make sure you get all that goodness. Don't want to waste any ingredients. We work hard for those ingredients. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and keep folding this. You want to just do a gentle fold. You don't want to deflate those egg whites. The hand mixer is really just a matter of convenience when it comes to a small portion like this. If you're making a larger lemon tiramisu, then I would say use your KitchenAid. All right, so that looks lovely. I am going to get this out of my way. Now I have a pan that I have made a sling for, and that's just gonna make it easier to pull this out of the pan. This pan also has a bottom piece that pushes up, so it just makes it easier to get the whole thing out. So I've just got this all prepared. It's all lined. I created the little sling, and like I said, I do have an insert, so I can push the whole thing up, which makes it easier to pop it out, and then I can just peel this down, and I'm ready to go when it's time to serve. Okay? All right, so the next thing that we're gonna do is we are going to get our ladyfingers. And these are Italian ladyfingers. There's lots of different ladyfingers out there, but I prefer these ones. They're nice and firm, so they'll hold the liquid well. So I'm gonna start out with one package. And the way this is gonna work is I'm gonna line the bottom with the ladyfingers after I dip them in my limoncello mixture. And then I'm going to put a layer of cream. And then I'm just gonna keep repeating. And depending on your pan size, you may need more of the cream mixture and more of the dipping liquid. So it really depends on what size dish you're using. So I'm just gonna give these a little rotate, and I'm gonna go ahead and start lining. And just wanna see, I'm gonna break these very carefully so that I can fit them. And these ladyfingers are very dry. There are ladyfingers that are not quite so dry. So depending on how dry they are will kind of dictate how much liquid you end up using. And I'm gonna just take one of these here, and because it's gonna drive me crazy, I'm just gonna kind of fill in the gap. There we go. I don't have to do that. Okay, perfect. Then I'm gonna go ahead and put a bit of my cream in here. And I'm just gonna use an offset spatula and spread that out. Let's push this around a little bit. Just trying to get it as even as I can. All right, and then I'm gonna do another row of the ladyfingers. Another package. Okay. So I'm just doing 2 layers, plenty. It is kind of sticky with the simple syrup and the limoncello. I want to pull it down a little bit off of the parchment so that it just looks a little bit nice and flat when I go to peel the parchment back. I'm sure if you can see this on camera, but there's some really nice pieces of the orange or the lemon zest in here, which is pretty. And you can see the little flecks of the vanilla bean, which I always appreciate. So I'm just gonna level this out, and then I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator, and I'm gonna let it firm up. You can get away with 2 hours. However, I always like to just leave it in the refrigerator overnight, and that way I know it's nice and solid, nice and firm. And also that the ladyfingers have had time to kind of soften up. All right. So that is it. So into the refrigerator we go, and we will have a delicious lemon tiramisu. All right, it has been 24 hours, and I am pulling my lemon tiramisu out of the refrigerator. So it's nice and set. Got a little pedestal here that I'm gonna use, serve it on. And I'm just gonna push this up and out. It has a nice little metal stand here. And I'm just going to pull off the sides, get rid of one of my slings, and I'm gonna pull back the paper here. And I'm just gonna very carefully pull that back, pull it off. And then I can just kind of slide it over a little bit so it's a little more centered. And then I can just come through and kind of clean up my little mess here. It's gonna be a lovely little dessert. And then I've got a little bit of powdered sugar here, and put a little bit of powdered sugar on top. And then you could also do some pearls of lemon, or you could candy some lemon and put that on top. That would be really pretty as well. I'm using C&H sugar, which tends to clump, so that's why I'm sifting it. It also looks really pretty coated on top here. That is our lemon tiramisu. Enjoy!